The apartment always felt smaller at night. It wasn't cramped, not really, but something about the way shadows stretched across the hardwood floor made it seem like the walls were closing in. Ethan had lived here for a year with Alex, and by now, he should have been used to the space, to the late-night sounds of traffic outside, to the hum of the fridge, to the quiet creaks of Alex moving around in the next room. But tonight was different. Alex's girlfriend, Sophia, had left that morning for a weekend trip. Ethan hadn't thought much of it at first. He had planned for a quiet weekend alone, maybe some work, maybe a drink or two. But when Alex walked through the door that evening with a six-pack in one hand and a lazy grin on his face, those plans unraveled. We should drink tonight, Alex had said, dropping onto the couch beside Ethan without waiting for a response. No, Sophia. No obligations. Just a couple of drinks like old times. Ethan had agreed, despite knowing better. Now, an hour in, he could feel the alcohol buzzing in his veins. Alex sat beside him, closer than usual, his arms slung casually over the back of the couch. The air smelled like cheap beer and the faint spice of Alex's cologne. Something warm, something familiar. You're quieter than usual, Alex mused, nudging Ethan's knee with his own. Ethan took a slow sip of his drink, carefully setting it down before speaking. Just thinking. About. Ethan hesitated, eyes flicking toward the dim glow of the television. A movie played, something they'd both seen before, something neither of them were really watching. He could feel Alex watching him now, gaze heavy, searching. Nothing important. Ethan finally said. But that wasn't true. His thoughts had been tangled from the moment Alex sat too close, from the way their knees brushed and Alex didn't move away. It wasn't the first time he'd noticed the way Alex's presence lingered, how he leaned in when he spoke, how his touches always lasted a beat too long. Ethan had told himself it meant nothing. Alex was straight. Alex had Sophia. You ever wonder about things? Alex asked suddenly, voice quieter now, more thoughtful. Ethan turned to him, studying his face. Things? Alex exhaled a laugh, shaking his head. Forget it. Ethan should have let it go. He should have turned his attention back to the screen, let the moment pass like all the others. But he didn't. No, tell me. Alex glanced at him, then away. His fingers drummed idly against his thigh, a nervous habit Ethan had seen 100 times. But he wasn't nervous. No, this was something else. Alex started, then stopped. He exhaled sharply and gave a half-smile, one Ethan couldn't quite decipher. Never mind. I'm drunk. Ethan huffed a quiet laugh. You're not that drunk. Alex turned to face him fully, one arm still resting along the back of the couch, fingers close enough that they almost touched Ethan's shoulder. Okay, fine. Alex said, tilting his head slightly. Do you ever think about the choices we don't make? A slow knot tightened in Ethan's chest. He forced himself to keep his voice even. That's a loaded question. Alex smirked. Yeah, well, maybe I'm feeling philosophical. Ethan watched him carefully. He had learned, over time, how to read between Alex's words. He had seen the way Alex sometimes hesitated before saying certain things, how his eyes lingered too long before he looked away. Do you regret something? Ethan asked, even though he wasn't sure he wanted to hear the answer. Alex didn't respond immediately. Instead, he stretched, the movement slow and lazy, but his eyes never left Ethan's. The space between them felt different now, more charged, more fragile. Not regret. Alex murmured. Just wonder. Ethan swallowed hard. He needed to steer this conversation away from wherever it was headed. You ever going to propose to Sophia? He asked, voice deliberately light. It worked. Alex laughed, though there was something forced about it. Jesus, where did that come from? You've been together for years. It's the logical next step, right? Alex made a face, reaching for his drink. Underscore, not everything has to be logical. Underscore. Ethan nodded, pretending that answer didn't unsettle him. The conversation drifted after that, the easy rhythm of their usual banter returning. But something unspoken still hung in the air. Ethan ignored it, pushed it down deep, where all the other unspoken things between them lived. Then, a sudden flicker. The apartment plunged into darkness. Underscore, damn it. Underscore, Alex muttered. Underscore, power's out. Underscore. Ethan reached for his phone, but Alex moved first. A soft click echoed through the room. Ethan turned, eyes adjusting to the dim glow of the city lights filtering through the window. Alex stood near the door now, his back to it, hand still on the lock. Underscore, why do you lock it? Underscore, Ethan asked, trying to keep his voice neutral. Alex's jaw tightened. Underscore, habit, I guess. Underscore. Ethan's pulse quickened. A silence stretched between them, heavier than before. He wanted to believe it was nothing, that Alex really had locked the door out of habit, that the way he was looking at him now didn't mean anything. But then Alex took a step closer. Underscore, you cold? Underscore, he asked. His voice was soft, his expression unreadable in the dark. Ethan wet his lips. His throat felt dry. Underscore, no. Underscore. Alex nodded slowly, but he didn't move away. And for the first time, Ethan wasn't sure if he wanted him to. The silence stretched between them, thick and charged. The faint glow from the city outside cast shadows across the apartment, highlighting the sharp angles of Alex's face, the way his jaw tensed as he lingered near the door. Ethan shifted on the couch, fingers pressing into the fabric, willing himself to act normal. To pretend the way Alex had locked the door meant nothing. But it did. Underscore, Ethan said, his voice a little too steady. Underscore, power outage. Guess we'll have to ride it out. Underscore. Alex exhaled, running a hand through his hair before finally moving. He crossed the room, grabbed the half-empty beer bottle from the coffee table, and took a slow sip. He wasn't looking at Ethan now, not directly. Underscore? Underscore, he murmured. Underscore, guess so. Underscore. Something in his tone made Ethan's skin prickle. Alex sounded different, distracted, restless, and it wasn't just the beer talking. Ethan should have said something easy, something that would break whatever was settling between them. But instead, he let the quiet stretch, let the weight of it settle in his chest. Then, Alex moved again. He sat back down beside Ethan, closer than before. His arm brushed against Ethan's, and he didn't shift away. Underscore, you ever think about it? Underscore, Alex asked suddenly, his voice softer now, lower. Ethan frowned, turning his head slightly. Underscore, think about what? Underscore. Alex took another sip of beer, gaze flicking to the window, to the dark sky beyond. Underscore, what it would have been like if we'd met under different circumstances. Underscore. The words landed heavy between them. Ethan inhaled slowly, his grip tightening around his drink. He knew this game. The almost questions, the careful way Alex chose his words so he could take them back if needed. He knew it too well. Underscore, different how? Underscore, Ethan asked, because he wanted to hear Alex say it. Alex hesitated. His fingers tapped against the bottle, his knee bouncing just slightly. Underscore, I don't know. Underscore, he admitted. Underscore, if I weren't me. If you weren't you. Underscore. Ethan's chest tightened. He wanted to ask what the hell that meant, but he already knew. Underscore, Alex, you're drunk. Underscore, he said instead, forcing a small laugh. Alex turned then, really turned, his body angling toward Ethan's, his gaze sharp, searching. Underscore, I'm not that drunk. Underscore. Ethan swallowed, pulse thrumming in his ears. This wasn't the first time Alex had towed the line. The lingering touches, the words left hanging in the air, the way he sometimes looked at Ethan like he was trying to solve a puzzle he didn't understand. But this was the first time Ethan wasn't sure if Alex would step back. Underscore, I don't think Sophia would love this conversation. Underscore, Ethan said carefully, watching for Alex's reaction. A flicker of something crossed Alex's face, too fast to name. Guilt? Frustration? Something else? Underscore, it's just a conversation. Underscore, Alex murmured, but there was something off about the way he said it. Ethan huffed a quiet laugh, shaking his head. Underscore, that's the thing, though. It's not. Underscore. Another silence. Alex's fingers tightened around the bottle, his jaw working like he was trying to hold something back. Then, finally, he looked at Ethan. Underscore, I think about it sometimes. Underscore, Alex admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. Ethan's breath caught. Underscore, think about what? Underscore, he asked, even though he wasn't sure he wanted to hear the answer. Alex hesitated, gaze flicking away, then back again. For the first time, he looked uncertain. Underscore? Underscore, he said finally. The word hit Ethan like a blow. His fingers dug into his thigh, his chest tightening with something sharp, something dangerous. Underscore, don't do this. Underscore, Ethan said, voice quieter now. Alex's gaze didn't waver. Underscore, why not? Underscore, Ethan let out a slow, shaky breath. Underscore, because you're straight. Because you have a girlfriend. Because this, underscore, he gestured vaguely between them. Underscore isn't fair, underscore. Alex let out a quiet laugh, but it lacked humor. Underscore straight. Right. Underscore. The way he said it made Ethan's stomach flip. Underscore Alex. Underscore Ethan started, but he didn't know what to say. Alex leaned in, just slightly, not close enough to kiss, but close enough that Ethan could feel his breath against his skin. Underscore, you ever think about it? Underscore Alex asked again, voice barely above a whisper. Ethan had spent months trying not to. Trying not to notice the way Alex's presence filled a room. Trying not to imagine a reality where he could touch him the way he wanted to. But that reality didn't exist. Underscore, it doesn't matter. Underscore, Ethan forced out. Alex tilted his head slightly, his lips parting like he was going to say something else. But then he stopped. A beat passed. 2. Then just as suddenly as it had started, Alex pulled back. He ran a hand through his hair, exhaled sharply. Underscore, forget it. Underscore, he muttered, pushing himself up from the couch. Ethan stayed where he was, his body still tense, his pulse still unsteady. Underscore, Alex. Underscore, I'm going to bed. Underscore. And just like that, it was over. Alex disappeared down the hall, the click of his bedroom door echoing through the apartment. Ethan sat there, staring at the empty space where Alex had been, the words still hanging in the air. He should have felt relieved. He should have been grateful that Alex had stepped back before it went too far. But instead, all he felt was the weight of what had almost happened and the certainty that it wasn't over. Ethan didn't sleep that night. He had tried, turning onto his side, then his back, then staring at the ceiling until his thoughts blurred into the dark. But no matter how many times he closed his eyes, his mind replayed the same scene. Alex's voice, low and unsteady. His eyes, holding something he wasn't ready to name. I think about it sometimes. The words had cracked something open inside him, something Ethan had worked hard to keep sealed. By the time the sun rose, Ethan had convinced himself that Alex would brush it off, that he'd wake up, shake off whatever had possessed him last night, and pretend nothing had happened. That was the way it always went, wasn't it? But then Alex didn't come out of his room. Not in the morning. Not in the afternoon. By evening, Ethan found himself standing outside Alex's door, hand hovering near the knob. He hesitated, then knocked twice. Silence. Then, after a long pause, the sound of movement, the quiet creak of the floorboards. The door opened. Alex stood there, his expression unreadable, his gaze flicking over Ethan like he wasn't sure if he was welcome. The air between them felt different now, weighted, stretched too thin. Underscore, you okay? Underscore, Ethan asked. Alex exhaled through his nose, rubbing the back of his neck. Understand? Just hung over. Underscore. Ethan studied him. The lie was too easy, too practiced. But if Alex wasn't ready to talk, Ethan wasn't going to force him. Underscore, you hungry? Underscore, Ethan asked instead. Underscore, I was going to order something. Underscore. A pause. Alex shifted his weight, then nodded. Underscore, yeah, sure. Underscore. That should have been the end of it. They should have eaten in silence, let the tension settle into the spaces between them, and moved on like nothing had happened. But that wasn't what happened, because later that night, as Ethan lay in bed, staring at the ceiling once again, he heard it. The sound of footsteps, slow and deliberate, stopping just outside his door. His chest tightened. A long pause. Then a knock. Ethan swallowed, sitting up. Underscore, yeah. Underscore. The door creaked open. Alex stood in the doorway, bathed in the dim glow from the hallway light. He didn't speak at first, just stood there, fingers gripping the edge of the doorframe like he was trying to hold himself back. I couldn't sleep. Alex admitted finally. Ethan's heart thudded against his ribs. He said, voice quieter now. Me neither. Another silence. The kind that made the air feel too thick, too charged. Then, slowly, Alex stepped inside. He shut the door behind him. Ethan's pulse spiked. This was different. This wasn't a drunken conversation. Wasn't an almost moment. This was a choice. Alex stood at the edge of the bed, hands curling into fists at his sides like he was fighting himself. Say no. Alex murmured. So quiet Ethan almost didn't hear it. Ethan swallowed hard. To what? Alex exhaled, shaking his head, looking almost angry. At himself, at Ethan, at the thing between them that refused to die. To this. He said. To me. Ethan felt like the air had been knocked from his lungs. He should have said no. He should have told Alex to turn around, to walk away, to go back to his life, to Sophia, to the version of himself he was trying to hold on to. But he didn't. Instead, he whispered, I can't. And that was all it took. Alex moved before Ethan could think, before he could process the weight of what was happening. The space between them disappeared, and then Alex was there, his hands fisting into Ethan's shirt, his breath hot against Ethan's skin. Tell me this isn't real. Alex whispered. Ethan shuddered. I can't. A sharp inhale. A moment of hesitation. Then, Alex's lips brushed against Ethan's, tentative, unsure, like he was testing the edge of something dangerous. Ethan's breath hitched. His hands found Alex's waist, not pulling, not pushing, just feeling. Then Alex kissed him, not carefully, not hesitantly, like he was unraveling. Ethan's world tilted. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a moment of weakness. It was inevitable. But even as he melted into Alex, as his hands tangled in his hair, as every hidden, buried thing between them surfaced all at once, a single thought lodged itself deep in his chest, sharp and unrelenting. This wasn't supposed to happen, and it would come at a cost. Ethan woke first. For a moment, he forgot. The room was still dark, the soft glow from the city filtering through the blinds. He felt warmth against his skin, the steady rise and fall of breath that wasn't his. Then it all came crashing back. Alex, his body tangled with Ethan's beneath the sheets. The faint scent of his skin lingering in the space between them. The memory of the night before. The hands that had been hesitant at first, then desperate. The way Alex had kissed him like he was drowning, and Ethan was the air he needed to breathe. A sharp, aching pull twisted inside Ethan's chest. This wasn't a dream. Alex shifted slightly, murmuring something unintelligible in his sleep. His arm was still draped across Ethan's waist, his fingers twitching like even unconscious. He didn't want to let go. But he would, because Alex always did. Ethan exhaled slowly, his gaze flicking toward the ceiling. He should get up, put distance between them before Alex woke up and realized what he'd done. But he didn't move. Not yet, because for these last few moments, before reality set in, before Alex inevitably turned away, before the weight of it all crushed them both, Ethan let himself have this. He let himself want. Then Alex stirred. Ethan went still, waiting, a slow inhale, a shift of limbs. Then, finally, Alex's eyes opened. The room was too dim to read his expression, but Ethan felt the moment it hit him. The way his body tensed, the way his breath caught, the way his fingers, still resting against Ethan's skin, curled slightly, like he didn't want to pull away, but knew he had to. Ethan swallowed. Alex. Alex moved before Ethan could finish. He sat up abruptly, the sheets pooling around his waist. One hand raked through his hair, the other pressing against his face as he exhaled sharply. He muttered. Ethan stayed where he was, his chest tight. Here it comes. Alex. He tried again, voice softer this time. Alex didn't look at him. Instead, he swung his legs over the edge of the bed, hands braced on his knees. His back was taut, every muscle in his body wound tight, like a cord about to snap. Underscore, this shouldn't have happened. Underscore, he said finally. Ethan's stomach twisted. He forced a hollow chuckle, hoping it would mask the sting. Underscore, well, it did. Underscore, Alex let out a slow breath, shaking his head. Underscore, don't. Underscore, he stopped, jaw clenching. Underscore, I don't know what I was thinking. Underscore, Ethan did. He knew exactly what Alex had been thinking, because it was the same thing Ethan had thought every time their boundaries blurred, every time Alex lingered too long, every time he almost let himself fall. Underscore, Alex, don't do this. Underscore, Alex finally turned to look at him then, and that was worse, because his eyes weren't cold. They weren't full of regret. They were full of fear. Ethan's throat tightened. Underscore, say it. Underscore, he challenged. Underscore, if you regret it, just say it. Underscore, Alex opened his mouth, then shut it. He couldn't. That should have been enough. But it wasn't, because even though Alex couldn't say the words, he would still run from them. From Ethan. From this. Underscore, I can't do this. Underscore, Alex said, barely above a whisper. Ethan flinched, but he didn't let it show. He had known this was coming. Underscore, because of Sophia? Underscore, he asked, his voice sharp now. Alex's jaw tightened. Underscore, of course, because of Sophia. Underscore, he snapped. Then, softer, almost broken, underscore, because of everything. Underscore. Ethan sat up now, the sheets rustling as he moved. He wanted to be angry. It would have been easier. But all he felt was the slow, gnawing ache of something unraveling. Underscore, you keep doing this. Underscore, Ethan said, voice quiet. Underscore, you get close. You say things. You look at me like, underscore, he exhaled sharply, shaking his head. Underscore, and then you run. Underscore, Alex squeezed his eyes shut. He didn't deny it. That was the worst part. Underscore, tell me the truth. Underscore, Ethan pressed, leaning forward. Underscore, do you want this? Yes or no? Underscore, Alex didn't answer. Ethan waited. Underscore, Alex. Underscore. Finally, Alex met his gaze. His lips parted, like he was going to say something, like he wanted to, like maybe, just maybe, he was about to choose Ethan. But then his phone buzzed. The sound shattered the moment like glass hitting pavement. Ethan didn't have to look. He knew who it was. Alex did too. For a second, he hesitated. Then, he reached for it. Underscore, Sophia. Underscore, he murmured under his breath, staring at the screen. Ethan's chest caved. Underscore, go ahead. Underscore, he said, voice hollow. Alex hesitated, but only for a moment. Then he stood. The room felt colder without him in the bed. He lingered for half a second, his fingers twitching like he wanted to reach for Ethan, like he wanted to say something that would make this easier. But there was nothing. So instead, he turned and walked out the door, leaving Ethan alone.